The grand arena of Xipheron buzzed with energy and anticipation. In the stands, thousands of beings from across the galaxy filled the air with a cacophony of alien languages, their voices rising and falling like the tides of an ocean. Flags and banners of countless star systems fluttered in the artificial breeze, creating a colorful tapestry against the stark metal of the arena. At the heart of this interstellar gathering was Princess Seraphina, the young ruler of the Etherian realm. Clad in ceremonial robes that shimmered with the light of her people's star, her presence commanded attention. Her eyes, reflecting the nebulas of her home galaxy, scanned the crowd before settling on the combatants entering the arena. Her role was more than just a spectator. She was here to ensure the tournament's integrity, which kept the delicate balance of power in check across the realms. The competitors varied wildly, from towering insectoid warriors to agile, feline-like assassins. Each was a champion of their own world, each as deadly as they were determined. But it was the human contestant Jack who stood out to Seraphina. His build was sturdy, his movements measured, and his eyes held a glint of both kindness and ruthless determination. Humans were relatively new to the galactic community, their planet a backwater discovery that many had underestimated. Yet, Jack moved with a confidence that spoke of a warrior seasoned beyond the years of his civilization's spacefaring history. The tournament commenced with a thunderous roar of the crowd. Combatants clashed in a spectacle of strategy and brute force, their battles a dance of death and survival. Jack's first match was against a Gorthan, a creature known for its impenetrable hide and brute strength. The human's approach was unconventional. He used his agility to evade the creature's powerful blows, striking at vulnerabilities that seemed insignificant but accumulated in effect as the fight dragged on. Princess Seraphina watched intently, her interest piqued by this human's technique. It was unlike anything she had witnessed in previous tournaments. Jack's strategy was a mix of precision and empathy. He avoided unnecessary cruelty, a rarity in the arena where ferocity was often rewarded. His respect for his opponent, even in combat, was an oddity that resonated with Seraphina's own beliefs. As Jack's final blow gently incapacitated the Gorthan, rather than destroying it, the crowd erupted into mixed cheers and boos. Some appreciated the skill and honor. Others thirsted for blood and spectacle. Post-match, while the arena crews cleared the field and tended to the fallen, Seraphina's advisor, a wise old sage named Dryon, leaned over and whispered, "This human, he is different, Your Highness. Perhaps it is worth probing his intentions and alliances." Nodding, Seraphina made a decision. She would invite Jack to the Royal Observatory that evening. It was an honor reserved for few, a place where politics and strategies were discussed under the guise of viewing the stars. The observatory's session began with formalities, the exchange of customary gifts, and discussions about their respective worlds. However, it was the unexpected attack that night that shifted their meeting from a diplomatic courtesy to a partnership formed in the heat of battle. As space pirates, emboldened by the distraction of the tournament, launched a surprise assault on Xipheron, Jack and Seraphina found themselves fighting side by side. Utilizing her energy-based powers, Seraphina shielded them from blaster fire, while Jack, with a calm precision, picked off their attackers one by one. The skirmish was brief but intense, and in the aftermath, as they surveyed the damage, a mutual respect had formed. "Thank you, Jack," Seraphina said, her voice a mix of gratitude and wonder. "Your help was invaluable." Jack, catching his breath, smiled wryly. "I guess we make a pretty good team, Your Highness." As they returned to the observatory, their conversation deepened, turning to topics of peace, war, and the potential for unity in a galaxy full of divisions. Little did they know, their partnership would soon be tested in ways they could not have imagined, revealing secrets that were as ancient as the stars themselves. The Royal Observatory of Xipheron stood as a testament to the planet's advanced technology and commitment to science. Its towering spires reached toward the cosmos, a symbol of the thirst for knowledge that transcended species and star systems. Inside, the walls were adorned with star maps and artifacts from explorations past, each piece telling stories of discovery and diplomacy. After the unexpected skirmish with space pirates, Princess Seraphina and Jack found themselves walking the quiet, dimly lit corridors of the observatory. The attack had been thwarted, thanks to their combined efforts, and in the aftermath, an unspoken bond had begun to form between the human warrior and the alien princess. As they walked, Seraphina initiated a conversation that ventured beyond the formalities of their earlier interaction. "You fight with such precision, Jack. It's clear you've seen many battles. Yet, you show restraint where others might not. Where does that come from?" Seraphina asked, genuinely curious about the man whose species was so new to the galactic stage. Jack considered her question, his gaze lingering on a rotating hologram of distant galaxies. "I guess it's because I believe there's enough violence in the universe without us adding unnecessarily to it. We humans are fighters, but we strive to be peacemakers too. Not all battles are won with bloodshed." Seraphina nodded, her respect for the human growing. A philosophy not shared by many, unfortunately. In this galaxy, might often makes right a notion I hope to see change. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of one of Seraphina's advisors, a tall, lithe being with skin that shimmered like the surface of a star. "Your Highness, the observatory's telescopes have picked up an anomaly in Sector 9. It appears to be a rogue comet on a collision course with a populated system." "Thank you, Xylan. Please, prepare the viewing platform. Jack, would you care to join me?" Seraphina asked, her tone shifting back to that of a ruler addressing a crisis. Together, they moved to the viewing platform, a massive room with a domed ceiling that projected real-time images of space. The rogue comet appeared on the screen, its icy core glowing ominously as it hurtled through space. "It's beautiful, yet terrifying in its destructive potential," Seraphina commented, watching the celestial object with a mix of awe and concern. Jack stood beside her, equally transfixed. "Is there something we can do to stop it?" "There might be. Our technology allows us to alter the trajectory of smaller celestial bodies. It's risky, but with precise calculations, we can save lives." Seraphina and Jack worked alongside Xyphron's top astronomers, calculating the necessary adjustments. The task was arduous, involving complex astrophysical models and predictive simulations. As they worked, Jack was impressed by Seraphina's knowledge and her ability to lead her team through such a high-stakes scenario. Hours later, with the calculations set, Seraphina gave the command to execute their plan. A series of small, controlled explosions on the comet's surface were initiated remotely from the observatory. The group held their breath as the explosions nudged the comet, gradually altering its course away from the populated system. Cheers broke out around the room as their efforts proved successful. The comet passed harmlessly by the system, its new path taking it into the void of space. "Brilliant work, everyone," Seraphina beamed, her relief palpable. "And Jack, thank you. Your insights were invaluable today." Jack shrugged modestly. "I'm just glad I could help." As the excitement died down, Seraphina turned to Jack with a thoughtful expression. "You know, Jack, there's a place I'd like to show you. It's not far from here, and I think you'll find it quite interesting." Intrigued, Jack agreed, and together they left the observatory. They traveled to a lesser-known part of Xypheron, where ancient ruins whispered secrets of a time when the galaxy was a wilder, more mysterious place. As they explored the crumbling structures, their conversation drifted to topics of fate, destiny, and the paths that had led them both to this moment. It was here, among the echoes of the past, that they stumbled upon a hidden archive, its entrance cleverly disguised as part of the natural rock formation. Inside, they found artifacts and old texts that spoke of prophecies, wars fought in the stars, and alliances forged across galaxies. One particular text, illuminated by the light of Seraphina's energy, caught their attention. "This speaks of a bond between realms," Seraphina murmured, her voice tinged with wonder. "A prophecy of peace brokered by the union of two souls from different worlds." As Jack looked over his shoulder at the ancient writings, a sense of destiny enveloped them. The text seemed to be describing them, or at least something eerily similar to their burgeoning friendship. "Looks like the universe might have bigger plans for us, Seraphina," Jack said, half joking but intrigued by the notion. Seraphina smiled, her eyes reflecting the starlight that filtered through the ruins. "Perhaps it does, Jack. Perhaps it does." Princess Seraphina and Jack, still reeling from their discovery in the ancient ruins on Xiphron, decided to travel to Etheria, Seraphina's home planet. Etheria was a world of breathtaking beauty, known across the galaxy for its lush landscapes, floating cities, and a population that wielded energy-based powers tied to their spiritual essence. As their ship entered the planet's orbit, Seraphina pointed out the various landmarks and the sprawling capital city that glowed with a soft, ethereal light. Upon their arrival, Seraphina led Jack through the grand halls of her ancestral palace, an architectural marvel that harmoniously blended advanced technology with ancient designs. Their destination was the private archives, a place seldom visited by outsiders. The archives were located deep beneath the palace, in a cavernous room lined with artifacts and texts that chronicled Etheria's long history. As they descended the ornate staircase, the air grew cooler, and the only sound was the soft hum of the energy fields that protected the ancient manuscripts. These archives hold knowledge passed down through generations, some of which predates our entry into the galactic community, Seraphina explained. If the prophecy we found on Xiphron has roots, its origins will be here. They began their search through the scrolls and data crystals, each piece providing insights into Etheria's storied past. Hours slipped by as they uncovered tales of ancient wars, peace treaties, and alliances that shaped the modern galaxy. It was in a dusty, forgotten corner of the archive that Jack stumbled upon a sealed crystal case. Inside was a scroll unlike any other they had seen. Its edges glimmered with a faint light, and the text was written in a script that shimmered under their touch. Seraphina carefully opened the case, and as she unrolled the scroll, a surge of energy pulsed through the room. The script detailed a prophecy about a celestial alignment and the reunion of star-crossed souls from different worlds, meant to usher in an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity. The description of the symbols, one eerily resembling the Etherian royal crest and the other, a simple yet unfamiliar symbol, sparked a memory in Jack. "I've seen this before," Jack said, tracing the second symbol with his finger. It was on an artifact my team uncovered on Earth, said to be of unknown origin, but predating any known civilization. Seraphina looked at him, her eyes wide with amazement. "That can't be a coincidence. It suggests a connection between our worlds long before we thought possible." Their discussion was abruptly interrupted by a low rumble that shook the archives. Dust fell from the ceiling as the ground trembled, and distant alarms began to wail. They rushed to the surface to find the palace in disarray, with reports of a dark energy creature wreaking havoc in the capital city. Without hesitation, Seraphina and Jack geared up and headed toward the chaos. The creature, a mass of swirling dark energy, was attacking the city's energy grid, absorbing its power and growing larger with each attack. Seraphina attempted to subdue it with her powers, but her energy seemed only to stabilize it temporarily. Jack, observing the creature's reactions, devised a plan. "It feeds on energy, right? Maybe we can overload it, give it more than it can handle." Working together, they modified a power generator to emit a massive burst of pure Etherian energy. Seraphina channeled her powers through the device, amplifying the output as Jack monitored the creature's reactions. With a final surge, the overloaded creature exploded into a shower of light particles, dissipating harmlessly into the air. As the city calmed and the citizens began to emerge from their shelters, Jack and Seraphina were hailed as heroes. But the experience left them with more questions than answers. Who had sent the creature? Was it related to the prophecy they had uncovered? Determined to find answers, they returned to the archives. Their research now had a new focus: to understand the connections between their worlds and to uncover any potential threats that might arise from their newfound alliance. As they delved deeper into the ancient texts, they realized that their journey together was just beginning. Their bond, forged in battle and strengthened by shared knowledge, would be crucial as they faced the unknown challenges ahead. After the encounter with the dark energy creature, Princess Seraphina and Jack knew that their mission was far from over. Their research in the archives had provided them with clues, but the true nature of their connection and the prophecy remained shrouded in mystery. Seeking deeper understanding, Seraphina suggested they consult the High Seer of Etheria, an enigmatic figure renowned for her ability to interpret the cosmos and its deeper mysteries. They traveled to the High Temple, located on the highest peak of Etheria. The temple was an ancient structure, surrounded by floating gardens that moved with the rhythm of the planet's subtle vibrations. The High Seer, a venerable woman named Alestria, awaited them in a chamber that overlooked the celestial expanse. "You have come seeking answers that are written in the stars and echoed in the depths of the galaxy," Alestria intoned as they entered. Her voice was both soothing and commanding, her eyes reflecting the starlight that filtered through the temple's crystalline dome. Seraphina presented the ancient scroll they had discovered, and Jack explained his encounter with the similar symbol on Earth. Alestria listened intently, her fingers tracing the air as if weaving unseen threads together. "To understand the prophecy, you must first understand yourselves," Alestria said, guiding them to a pool of shimmering liquid that lay at the center of the chamber. "This is the mirror of fates, conduit of cosmic energy that can reveal one's past life energies." Jack and Seraphina exchanged a glance, uncertainty mingling with anticipation. They approached the pool, and Alestria instructed them to join hands and gaze into the liquid's depths. As they did so, the surface shimmered and images began to form. Visions of ancient battles, tender moments shared under alien skies, and a powerful bond uniting them across lifetimes. They saw themselves as different beings, a warrior and a mage, leaders in a time when their galaxies had first touched edges, their love a bridge between worlds. The vision shifted, showing the collapse of that ancient alliance, marred by betrayal and a dark curse meant to keep them apart forever. The prophecy, it seemed, was not merely about union, but also about reconciliation and healing old wounds. When the pool's surface stilled, Jack and Seraphina stepped back, overwhelmed by the revelations. "We were meant to find each other," Seraphina whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Not just in this life, but in all our lives." Alestria nodded. "Yes, but the prophecy also speaks of a great upheaval that accompanies your reunion. The creature you faced was merely a harbinger. There are forces that wish to prevent the prophecy from being fulfilled." Determined to confront whatever threats lay ahead, they asked Alestria for guidance on how to protect their worlds from the looming dangers. "The key lies in uniting your people, not just as leaders but as symbols of hope. You must show them that together, your strengths are formidable," Alestria advised. Armed with this knowledge, Jack and Seraphina prepared to leave the temple. Before they departed, Alestria handed them an ancient talisman, an artifact that pulsed with a gentle light. "This will aid you when the darkness grows strong," she said. The descent from the temple was silent, as both processed the weight of their past lives and the responsibilities of their current ones. Upon returning to the capital, they began formulating a plan to strengthen their alliance and prepare for the challenges foretold by the prophecy. Their first step was to address their people together, sharing their story and the vision of unity it represented. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with cheers and support echoing through the halls of the palace. Inspired by their leader's shared destiny, the people of Etheria and representatives from Earth began to work together more closely, blending their technologies and knowledge. As they built their alliance, Jack and Seraphina trained together, combining her energy-based abilities with his tactical expertise. Together, they forged a new path, one that they hoped would lead to peace and fulfill the prophecy's promise of a united galaxy. But as they grew stronger, so did the shadows that watched from the dark corners of the universe, waiting for the right moment to strike. With the revelation of their past lives and the prophecy that bound their destinies, Princess Seraphina and Jack were more determined than ever to fortify the burgeoning alliance between Etheria and Earth. They knew that powerful forces sought to keep them apart and maintain the division that had long benefited those who thrived on conflict. The strengthening of their union was marked by increased collaboration between the military strategists of Earth and the energy wielders of Etheria. They held joint training sessions and shared tactics and wisdom, creating a hybrid force that was versatile and robust. Meanwhile, Seraphina and Jack worked tirelessly, not only on the battlefield, but also in diplomatic chambers, securing alliances with other planetary systems that shared their vision of a united galaxy. It was during a grand assembly of these allied planets that the first strike came. An armada of ships, helmed by the rogue Lord HFY, a warlord who feared the shift in power the Earth-Etherian alliance represented, appeared suddenly in the orbit of Etheria. His forces were a mixture of hired mercenaries and enslaved creatures, including the genetically engineered beasts known for their ruthlessness in battle. The skies over Etheria darkened as KRL's ships descended, launching a full-scale invasion. The initial barrage of energy blasts took a heavy toll on the Etherian defenses. Seraphina and Jack, who had anticipated a possible attack but not of this magnitude, quickly rallied their forces. Jack utilized his experience in human guerrilla warfare, setting up strategic ambushes and surprise attacks that utilized the natural terrain of Etheria's lush landscapes. Seraphina, harnessing her command over celestial energies, provided their troops with shields of light energy and counterattacked with precision strikes against KRL's fleet. As the battle raged on the ground, Jack led a squad of Earth's elite soldiers to infiltrate one of KRL's flagship cruisers. The mission was perilous, navigating through the enemy ship while avoiding detection. Using a combination of human stealth technology and Etherian energy cloaking, they managed to sabotage the ship's main reactor, setting off a chain reaction that would eventually disable the vessel. Meanwhile, Seraphina confronted Lord KRYL in a direct confrontation high above the planet's surface. Their battle was fierce, with KRYL wielding a dark energy blade that absorbed light and energy, making him a formidable opponent even for Seraphina's powers. The duel pushed her to her limits, forcing her to tap into the deep reserves of her heritage's ancient energy techniques, which were powerful but could be draining. As the battle reached its climax, Jack's team succeeded in their mission, causing a massive explosion that disabled KRL's flagship and sent shockwaves through the invading fleet. With their leader's ship incapacitated, confusion and disarray spread among the enemy forces. Seeing their chance, Seraphina rallied her people, and together with the Earth forces, they launched a counteroffensive. The Etherians, empowered by their princess's bravery, fought with renewed vigor, while the allied planet's forces provided crucial support, pinning down key positions and cutting off KRL's retreat paths. The battle for unity was brutal and intense, but through their combined efforts and strategic prowess, Jack and Seraphina's forces gradually turned the tide. As the last of KRL's ships retreated, a cheer erupted from the Allied troops, echoing across the battlefield. In the aftermath, as they surveyed the damage and tended to the wounded, Jack and Seraphina knew that this victory was significant, but also that it was only the beginning. Lord KRL's defeat would send ripples across the galaxy, proving that unity could indeed be a formidable force against tyranny. As they prepared for the challenges ahead, their bond, forged in the heat of battle and sealed by the memories of lifetimes past, grew stronger. Together, they stood at the forefront of a movement that sought not just to defend their worlds, but to transform the galaxy into a place where such alliances of peace could flourish. Following the resounding victory against Lord KRYL, the atmosphere on Etheria was one of jubilation and newfound hope. Princess Seraphina and Jack, now seen not just as leaders but as harbingers of a new era, were at the heart of the celebrations. They had proven that unity between different worlds was not only possible but powerful. As the debris of battle was cleared and the reconstruction efforts began, Serafina and Jack planned a ceremony that would mark the beginning of this new chapter for the galaxy. The event was set in the grand arena of Zyphron, where their journey had first started. This time, however, it was not for a display of combat prowess, but for a celebration of peace and partnership. The arena was magnificently decorated, with banners representing each of the allied worlds fluttering in the cosmic breeze. Leaders and dignitaries from various planets gathered, a testament to the widespread support for the Earth-Etherian alliance. The crowd was a vibrant tapestry of beings from across the galaxy, each contributing their unique traditions to the ceremony. Serafina and Jack stood side by side, addressing the assembly. "Today, we stand not as separate races from distant worlds, but as members of a united galaxy," Serafina proclaimed, her voice resonant and clear. "Our victory against the forces that sought to divide us is proof that when we work together, there is no limit to what we can achieve." Jack followed, his tone earnest and hopeful. "Our alliance was born in the face of adversity, strengthened in battle, and solidified by mutual respect and understanding. Let this ceremony be a symbol of our commitment to each other and to a peaceful future." The climax of the ceremony was the signing of the Galactic Unity Charter, a document crafted by representatives from all the allied worlds. The charter outlined the principles of their alliance, emphasizing cooperation, mutual defense, and the sharing of knowledge and resources. As Serafina and Jack signed the document, the crowd erupted in applause, a sound that echoed like a wave across the arena. After the formalities, the arena transformed into a grand festival. Music from hundreds of worlds filled the air, mingling into a symphony that spoke of a rich, intertwined destiny. Dancers in colorful attire performed traditional rituals that celebrated the heritage of their people, while culinary delights from different planets were shared and savored. As the celebrations continued, Jack and Serafina took a moment to step away from the crowd, finding solace in the quiet of the observatory where they had first bonded over shared ideals. They looked out at the stars, a vast expanse that once seemed filled with insurmountable differences, but now held infinite possibilities. "We've come so far, haven't we?" Jack mused, his hand finding Serafina's. "We have," Serafina agreed, squeezing his hand gently. "And we have far to go still. But with you by my side, I believe we can make this galaxy a place where peace prevails." The story concluded with Jack and Serafina watching a meteor shower light up the night sky, a celestial celebration of their union and their unified vision. Their journey had been one of discovery, conflict, and ultimately reconciliation. Together, they had changed the course of their world's histories, forging a path that others could follow towards a future where humanity and Etheria, along with all their galactic neighbors, could thrive together in harmony. As the meteors streaked across the heavens, their light reflected in the eyes of two leaders who had looked into the past to protect their future. It was a new dawn for the galaxy, and under their guidance, it would be a bright one.